I don't know what I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
Bristol flight is as good as gold.
Bristol flight is as good as gold.
I've even heard we are the best.
I've even heard we are the best.
Bristol flight, we never rest.
Bristol flight, we never rest.
Go Bristol!
Woo!
Left, right, challenge your flight. Left, right, we do it right. Left, right, challenge your flight. Challenge you right. Woo, good job!
Yeah, Challenger. We are Delta, we are strong, we're so good, we can do no wrong. If you mess with us, you better run. We're serious, but we still have fun. We are Delta, we are strong. Woo, go Delta!
Go Delta flight!
Go Delta!
Expedito came together in January, and then we made it into February with all these unfamiliar faces stuck in our places. We did pretty well, and our time together was quite swell.
Woo! Expediter!
Expediter.
When we began, I can't begin to knowing.
But then I know we're playing strong.
Was in the fall, and winter became the spring.
And ACR has come along.
Band, marching band.
Playing out, marching left, marching right.
Sweet marching band. Bum, 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 bum.
Good tunes never seemed so good.
I've been inclined. Bum, bum, bum.
To believe they never would.
Go band flight.
Let's go, band.
Perfect. I'm just going to continue the song until we start our annual review ceremony. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. I think I'm going to get started with annual now. Good afternoon, cadets, parents, family, and staff of 872 Kiwanis Kanata Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron. Thank you for joining us today for the 41st Annual Ceremonial Review. I am Warrant Officer First Class Anusha Wakar, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome some special guests who are joining us. Our Squadron Sponsoring Committee Chairperson, Mrs. Susan Trimble. Hello, Mrs. Trimble. The Regional Support Unit of Eastern Squadron Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Lussard, and our Zone Training Officer, Captain Rose Hurtubise.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Thank you for being with us today. With it being our 41st annual review ceremony and first conducted virtually live, I would now like to call upon Warrant Officer Second Class Roma Shangari to briefly explain the history of our squadron.
Thank you, ma'am. In 1941, the Air Cadet League received its charter to create what continues to be one of the premier youth organizations in Canada. At its inception, the Air Cadet program was created solely to train young men to be pilots in the Second World War. But after it ended, the program diversified. The focus on aviation continued, but the program began to refocus on its current values: leadership, citizenship, and physical fitness. The Air Cadet program is the largest of the three branches of the Canadian Cadet organizations, with over 450 squadrons and 25,000 cadets across the country. In September of 1979, Jim Davies and Jean Sabo felt that the new suburb of Kanata needed a new Air Cadet squadron. 17 families showed up to register their sons and daughters on the first information night, and on January 11, 1980, the Air Cadet League and the Minister of National Defense formally approved the formation of 872 Kiwanis Air Cadet Squadron. This year, its 41st, 872 remains sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Nepean and is commanded by Captain James Wood. Through the pandemic, we have worked hard to continue our training with a strength of 135 cadets, in ways the original 17 cadets might have not thought possible.
Thank you, Warrant. Today's ceremony marks the end of the cadets training year. This annual ceremonial review is to show you all a little bit about the hard work and effort your cadets put in on a weekly basis, despite being behind a screen. I will start off the ceremony by introducing a few of our senior cadets, which followed by the arrival of a reviewing officer and the playing of our general salute and march past. We will then go to showcase a few displays and accomplishments our squadron has achieved this year. After the displays, we will move on to every cadet's favorite part, promotions and awards. We will then invite our sponsoring committee chairperson, commanding officer, and reviewing officer to say a few words. We will follow up with the national anthem and the final general salute before dismissal of the reviewing officer. To end our ceremony, we will feature what is to come on the last training night of the year, especially for those aging out. Despite the difficulties of the virtual training year, it has been a success thanks to the hard work of our seniors who made sure their cadets had the best experience possible. I would now like to take a moment to recognize 872's outstanding leaders. These 6 cadets have been the first contact between their flight and the chain of command. Each week, they happily guide their cadets in various team-building activities. I would now like to introduce our 6 flight commanders. Aero's Flight Commander, Flight Sergeant Siduria Pathapan.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Aeroflight, for this amazing year. I sure had fun with all of you, and I hope you all did too. It was always nice to start off the night with all of you, whether it be a nice conversation, a fun activity, or relaxing to some music. The energy you all brought to cadets was definitely uplifting. This cadet year surely wouldn't have been the same for me without all of you. I hope you all have a wonderful summer and learn lots of new things from your cadet camps. I hope to meet you all in person next year.
Bristol's Flight Commander, Flight Sergeant Sebastian Brown.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Bristol Flight, for everything that you have given to me and have participated with me. I appreciate your guys' participation as much as anything else. As the most artistically inclined and the self-proclaimed best flight, I'll be making sure that you guys will maintain that title next year. I hope you all have an amazing summer and amazing next year. Thank you, Bristol.
Challengers Flight Commander, Flight Sergeant Victoria Guo, and Challengers Second in Command, Flight Sergeant Aiden Charette.
Thank you, ma'am. Although the pandemic has been stressful or anxiety-inducing, flight times with Challenger were always very meaningful. Whether it was playing Pictionary together or simply talking about how school was going among ourselves, the moments spent together communicating will always be very memorable, and I couldn't ask for a better run of cadets who still actively decided to talk with me, with one another, and participated in the activities despite the sudden and unexpected circumstances. And I hope to see you next year healthy and doing well.
Delta's Flight Commander, Flight Sergeant Manis Gupta.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to just take a few seconds to thank Delta Flight for their hard work this year. From being second in the flight competition to participation on a weekly basis, talking with me, building a community in Delta Flight, it truly has been a ride, and it's one that I've enjoyed thoroughly. I can't say enough how proud I am to see each and every one of you grow, and I hope to see you guys continue to grow in person hopefully next year. So once again, thank you, Delta Flight, and let's go, Delta.
Expeditors Flight Commander, Flight Sergeant Eric Toe.
Thank you for the memories that we have all made to Expediter Flight. I had a lot of fun doing Battle of the Flight competitions. I enjoyed our time playing during flight time, and I enjoyed talking together. From the conversations about random topics to talking about lessons, your participation has made this one of my favorite social experiences that I had in this thing called quarantine. I hope to see you all in person next year, and I wish you all the best during summer camp, and I wish you well physically and mentally.
And finally, Band's Flight Commander, Flight Sergeant Alexander Anderson. Band also has an additional senior cadet who leads the musical aspect of band, Drum Major Sergeant Felix Woltorton.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, band. I am very proud of everything you guys have accomplished this year. Your initiative, participation, and competitiveness proves that band is just as relevant of a flight even when we're online. I'm glad I was able to lead you through this year, and I very much hope to see you all next year.
And hello, band. Thank you for creating so many memories this year despite being online. We got a lot done this year and had a lot of fun, and I'm super proud of you all. Here's to another year of marching and music.
Following our flight commanders, I would now like to introduce our squadron's warrant officers. Warrant Officer Second Class is the highest rank most cadets achieve in their cadet career. Each warrant has a different department they oversee and work together with the other warrants to run the squadron as a whole. Our 4-level warrants overlook all weekly instruction and activities, coordinate with the other warrants and seniors, and are the main branch of communication between the level officers. Our Level 1 Warrant Officer Second Class Krista Reed, who unfortunately could not be with us today. Our Level 2 Warrant Officer Second Class Imam Mohammed.
Thank you, ma'am. Being able to interact and work with the level 2s was such an amazing experience. Each night being taught new things and seeing the enthusiasm and hard work on the cadets. I hope the best for all of you, and I'm excited to see our future leaders.
Our Level 3 Warrant Officer Second Class Roma Shangari.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm very proud of everything that all the level 3s have accomplished this year. You should definitely give yourselves a pat on the back. It was a pleasure to work with all of you and see you grow throughout the year. Thank you for an amazing training year and all the fun memories, and I hope that all of you are successful in your future endeavors, whether in the cadet program or outside.
Our Level 4 Warrant Officer Second Class Ryan Liao.
Thank you, ma'am. Level 4s, it was a great pleasure teaching you guys each week or seeing you guys. I know we couldn't meet physically, but the energy you guys brought every week kind of made me look forward to it. And I know 872's future's in good hands, and I wish you guys all the best as seniors next year.
Next, we have our Evaluations Warrant Officer, who ensures all cadets have the opportunity to be promoted at the end of the training year. Warrant Officer, 2nd Class, Kayla Zhang.
Thank you, ma'am. For those who had evals this year, it's a pleasure for organizing evaluations this year. I'd like to thank all the level 3s and 4s for being such awesome cadets to work with and evaluate. And thank you all for being so cooperative and hardworking during this weird virtual training year. And congratulations to those who succeeded in their evaluations as well. I would like to thank all my fellow warrants and the officers for helping with all of the lesson evaluations. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And I wish good luck to the level 2s, soon to be level 3s and flight corporals, and to the level 3s, soon to be level 4s and sergeants on their evaluations next year. I hope you all a great future at 872 Squadron next year. Thank you.
Moving on to the top of the chain of command, our Squadron Warrant Officer, who doubles as our Training Warrant Officer. He is in charge of scheduling and rescheduling our training plan with instructors, overseeing the training aspect of the night, any drill, dress, or deportment that managed to sneak its way in the virtual training year, and during COVID-19, our main IT support. Warrant Officer, 2nd Class, Nicholas Trimble.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to thank all the instructors who have worked incredibly hard this year to make sure that all their lessons have still been engaging and fun for the cadets, and ensuring that the squadron works as best as it can during this online environment. Also, as Squadron Warrant Officer, I'd like to thank everyone for still showing up in uniform, if only from the shoulders up.
Our squadron's Deputy Warrant Officer, who doubles as our Public Affairs Warrant Officer. She plans our monthly flight competitions, handles all engagement on social media, and any admin duties. Warrant Officer, 2nd Class, Darian Neal.
Thank you, ma'am. I had such an amazing year with all of you, both with Public Affairs and as your Deputy Commander. I loved getting to share what 872 was up to and had so much fun planning and participating in various activities. I hope throughout the summer you all can keep your flight spirit, passion for teamwork, and competitive spirit for next year. I'm super proud of everyone, and no matter the outcome of the flight competition, every flight did an amazing job this year. Thank you, 872.
And finally, to end off our senior acknowledgement, I am Warrant Officer 1st Class Anusha Wakar. I am the Cadet Commander this year. I oversee the entire squadron on a weekly basis and act as the main branch of communication between the officers and cadets. I just want to take a moment to thank my warrant officers and my seniors. You guys made this year worth remembering, so thank you. I will now like to introduce our Commanding Officer of 872 Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron, Captain James Wood.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to be giving a bit of a speech later on, so I don't want to take too much of your time right now, but it's great to see everybody, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing what the seniors have put together here.
Thank you, Captain Wood. I would now like to take some time to tell you about our reviewing officer for today, Captain Retired William Speake. Mr. Speake first entered Air Cadets in 1975 and joined 706 Ottawa Lions Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron at the age of 13. In the time he was there, he attended junior leaders in his first summer. In the years that followed, he attended gliding and fly scholarships, receiving his glider and power wings and the International Air Cadet Exchange. In his last year as a cadet, he learned about the squadron, starting in Kanata, and jumped to the chance to help 872 Squadron up and running. When he was officially transferred over to 872 Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron, he was promoted from Warrant Officer 2nd Class to Warrant Officer 1st Class and became 872's first Squadron Cadet Commander. Following his graduation from Air Cadets, he spent a year as a CIC officer with 872 before being accepted to the Royal Military College of Canada in Kingston, Ontario, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Commerce 4 years later. Mr. Speake also spent some time as a civilian volunteer with 515 North Atlantic Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron in St. John's, Newfoundland, and 735 Firebird Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron in Dundas, Ontario. Mr. Speake graduated from the Royal Military College as an artillery officer and was promoted to the 2nd Regiment Royal Canadian Horse Artillery with the Special Service Forces in Petawawa, Ontario. During his time in Petawawa, he was posted to the Headquarters Special Service Force, where he worked on 2 peacekeeping operations, then to the Royal Canadian Dragoons, where he served as an assistant quartermaster. His last posting was with a 2 Service Battalion, where he retired from the Canadian Armed Forces at the rank of captain to pursue his original love of flying. After the military, Mr. Speake worked as a flight instructor where he gained the required hours to fly as a cargo pilot, where he flew all over the world. Mr. Speake has flown many planes, among them being Boeing 727, DC-10, Boeing 757, and Boeing 767. Mr. Speake currently works as the captain on the Boeing 737 with WestJet and resides in Hamilton, Ontario. On behalf of 872, thank you, Mr. Speake, for being here with us today. We will now play the General Salute pre-recorded by our Drum Major, Sergeant Felix Wiltorden, followed by the March Past.
Squadron General Salute! Salute!
.872 is a large squadron and therefore offers a wide slate of activities, both mandatory and optional all year long. The usual weekly training program was adapted to this unique year, alongside several optional activities including ground school, biathlon, marksmanship, band, and effective speaking. There is no reason at all for any of your cadets to be bored. Under the supervision and guidance of 872 staff, the senior cadets have assisted with the organization and execution of this year's training program. I would now like to pass it over to Flight Sergeant Siduria Pathapan to introduce what our level 1s have been up to this training year.
Thank you, ma'am. Aerodromes are areas of land or water designed for the arrival, departure, and movement of aircraft. The level 1s worked individually and put their creativity to use to make some amazing model aerodromes with the resources around them. Next up, we have a video displaying the level 1's model aerodromes.
Thank you, Flight Surgeon. Good job, level 1s. Our level 1s join in an interesting year, to say the least, away from all the staple memories of the cadet program, but as a level, they have done an outstanding job being our new recruits. I will now like to call upon Warrant Officer 2nd Class Ryan Liao to talk about the biathlon program.
So this year, biathlon wasn't able to meet in person, and that did limit what we were able to do. But this year, most of our virtual training was done through MS Teams, just talking about the logistics of biathlon, what it's about, how to stay fit, and all that other stuff. We've also had a few fitness nights, but I'll let the video do the rest of the explaining. Hey, it's Wotu Liao. This has been my final season with the 872 Angry Unicorns biathlon team, and it kind of sucks that this year we had to end it off virtually, but we made the most out of it.
I like biathlon because it keeps me active and busy. It improves my health and physical well-being while showing me so many new things.
One of the things I like so much about biathlon is the uniqueness of the sport. There isn't really any other place where you can go from skiing uphill to firing a rifle at the same time, and doing it with the cadets makes it so much more fun.
It kind of sucks that this year we had to end it off virtually, but we made the most out of it. And for those people that are interested or don't know what biathlon is about, I'd highly recommend it.
Despite not being able to meet up in person for biathlon this year, we still had a very engaging virtual program. For example, some of the things we did was we had a personal training program in which we could keep ourselves strong. And we had, of course, team building webinars to encourage that team spirit that biathlon is so well known for. And of course, we went over some basic rules like what to wear, and of course, always wear a hat on the range.
My favorite part about biathlon is probably the teamwork. Because a lot of biathlon is on your own, being part of a team helps you improve because you all get to encourage each other and help each other out. That way everyone gets to improve a lot, and I think that that kind of dynamic creates a very special bond between you and the rest of your team.
He taught me how to be mentally resilient and just push on through. And I owe that a lot to biathlon, and I don't think I would be standing here as a warrant officer second class if it wasn't for that.
I'm PlayStation Glenn, I did biathlon, and for me it all started off with curiosity and wondering what rifle shooting and cross-country skiing would be like, but in the end, although it did take a little bit of time to adjust, it was probably one of the best decisions that I made in my entire cadet career, and I think that you should do it too, because it's a really good opportunity and it's a lot of fun, you make a lot of friends, and it's just really great.
Our 872 biathletes have done an amazing job adapting to the virtual environment, finding new ways to learn and improve their skills. 872 could not be more proud. I would now like to pass it over to Flight Sergeant Manis Gupta to introduce this year's effective speaking program.
Thank you, ma'am. Starting on April 12th, 2021, I, with a few other seniors, helped run an effective speaking program, something that is normally run in person. It was a 7-week course that ends this coming up Monday with 9 cadets where I tried to help them improve as effective speakers, because it is one of the most important aspects I myself as a level 5 cadet have gained from the cadet program. So I'll let the video explain the rest, but I hope you guys are motivated to do effective speaking next year, whether it be in person or virtually. So a lot of you might be wondering, what exactly is the effective speaking program? Well, let me just give you a quick rundown. Normally, in cadets, we have Toastmasters, right? However, due to COVID and things like that, we couldn't have Toastmasters. So I tried and made a 7-week seminar solely based off Toastmasters, where the cadets had the chance to practice their impromptu speeches, their prepared speeches, and they had the chance to get proper and live feedback from their peers and myself. And what that meant was I saw humongous gains in the cadets' skill level in effective speaking. Cadets were able to, for their impromptu speeches, say it with more confidence, hit that 2-minute mark, wrap it up nicely, introduce it nicely, have a good body paragraph, right? Those are all factors I saw cadets able to do in just 7 weeks of my seminar, solely based off Toastmasters. But if you don't think that the cadet, my program really helped anyone, well, I have 3 cadets who are willing to talk about their experience and how it helped them as a cadet and as an effective speaker.
Hi, I'm Flight Group Lafortin, and I'm going to talk about my experience through effective speaking. Through the lessons, the impromptus, the prepared speeches, and many guest speakers, this was a great place for me to challenge myself and enhance my leadership skills. Talking about skills, I learned important tips on how to engage my audience, I also learned how to feel comfortable being dramatic, even though it was new to me. I discovered my strong points and got to work on my weak aspects of making speeches. Lastly, effective speaking taught me about myself. It taught me how to be confident, even when I might be nervous and maybe a bit shy. And it also taught me how to believe in myself, in order for others to also believe in me.
The Effective Speaking program has been a really fantastic experience. The program has helped change my perspective on how to go about giving a speech and allowed me to work with like-minded individuals to improve my speaking abilities. There was a welcoming environment where everyone was constantly encouraging and giving feedback to each other. The program allowed me to practice giving prepared and impromptu speeches every week, which had substantially improved my confidence and my skills. What I learned from this program, which I had not learned in all my years, will continue to benefit me throughout the rest of my life.
I absolutely loved this program. I learned and gained so many things that I know I wouldn't be able to achieve if I didn't join this program. It gave me a sense of confidence and made me feel like I was back in person, talking with other people and improving my skills. I felt more clear and was able to express my words in a much better way. The community aspect was also pretty awesome. The fact that so many people helped me and encouraged me to grow and step out of my comfort zone was amazing. I loved that it was challenging, that other people were also improving alongside me, so I could grow and push myself to new limits. Overall, this program helped me a lot. I know that these skills will be so useful for the rest of my life.
I think those three cadets have really explained and given a reason about how important and how much you can gain from attending the effective speaking program or any effective speaking program in general. And I think that's why I want a lot more of you next year to have this chance. So if you do see the chance to attend an effective speaking program, I highly suggest you jump at it, because let me tell you, becoming a good effective speaker makes you a better senior, makes you a better cadet, and will help you so much more than outside of life and outside of cadets.
As a participant in past effective speaking programs myself, it is the most important aspect I took away from the cadet program, and I love to see your cadets do the same in the future. I would now like to pass it over to Warrant Officer 2nd Class Darian Neal and Warrant Officer 2nd Class Imam Mohammed to introduce every cadet's favorite activity, our field training exercise weekend.
Thank you, ma'am. So FTX is a beloved biannual weekend activity where cadets learn about survival skills taught by the senior and staff. Obviously, this year's FTX wasn't like the usual, so we adapted to online. Let's see how it went.
Welcome to our 872 Virtual FTX 2021 recap. So during non-COVID times, we were able to easily teach and conduct this event. This year, we did the exact same thing, but made it 10 times better. We incorporated all aspects of the FTX, including PT, mandatory lessons, NIDEX, and other very fun activities. This activity was a huge success. I learned more about survival than usual, and I have something to look at in the future. This brought the whole squadron together and put our virtual lives a little better. The FTX started off with PT. We decided to do a 5K challenge, which was definitely not easy. Our cadets powered through and completed it. This started off a perfect rainy day for all of us to continue our lessons. Here are some photos of the cadets completing the 5K challenge. To stay 6 feet apart, and if not, wear a mask. This was the perfect activity to start off the day. Some people went at their own pace, jogging, running, or walking, and we had so much fun. After the 5K challenge, we continued with really fun lessons like shelters, water collection lessons, knots and lashings, and other very fun lessons. Seniors conducted a website that had all the information you need to know about FTX, and the cadets were able to go on and learn at their own pace and complete some fun activities. Even with the virtual life, we were able to mimic the same lessons that we need in real life survival situations. Thank you to all the staff, seniors, and officers for helping put this together, and thank you for all the cadets that participated. This was a very successful virtual event, and we hope to see you next year.
Thank you, Warrens, for your amazing planning, helping us execute this exercise virtually. I would now like to call upon the Deputy Commanding Officer of 872, Captain Thomas Doyle, and the Commanding Officer of 872, Captain James Wood, to proceed with promotions.
Okay, fantastic. So promotions are earned through the hard work of the cadets as they make their way through the training year, staying in rank, committing to showing up to various parades and other activities, and showing up at ACR today. And so because we've all reached the end, we are very excited to promote those who are very deserving, even in this exceptional year. So we will begin with promotions from the rank of cadet to LAC. LAC Ashworth, LAC Jane, congratulations. When we are able to get in person again, and this goes to everybody, when we are able to get in person again, we will have multiple supply days where you can come and pick up everything that you need, including your ranks. Okay, Captain Doyle?
Yep, so thank you, sir. The honor to announce the promotions to the rank of corporal for today. So Corporal Blanche, Corporal Conrad, Corporal Agitman, Corporal Jeffries, Corporal Lamb, Corporal Perel Adudato, Corporal Paseka, and Corporal Shafiq Corona. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations. From corporal to flight corporal. There's a lot. With pleasure, I am happy to promote Flight Corporal Auger, Flight Corporal Banerjee, Flight Corporal Bhatt, Flight Corporal Blythe, Flight Corporal Charette, Flight Corporal Chen, Alex, and Flight Corporal Chen Sophia, Flight Corporal Chaponsky Keller, Flight Corporal Dandarand, Flight Corporal Donghachi Tefo, Flight Corporal Doshi, Flight Corporal Elms, Flight Corporal Fung, Flight Corporal Gaikwad, Flight Corporal Han, Flight Corporal Hodge, Flight Corporal Holloway, Flight Corporal Huang, Corporal Iberg, Flight Corporal Kamanzi Kazito, Flight Corporal Kent, Flight Corporal Kawaja, Flight Corporal Kuokar, Flight Corporal Kuakuafili, Flight Corporal Lau, Flight Corporal Lacour, Flight Corporal Liu Kancheng, and Flight Corporal Liu Jennifer, Flight Corporal Meyer, Flight Corporal Omolchenko, Flight Corporal Pecorella, Flight Corporal Purohit, Flight Corporal Rovashen, Flight Corporal Schweib, Flight Corporal Suganthan, Flight Corporal Van Boxtel, Flight Corporal Wang, Flight Corporal White, Flight Corporal Willis, Flight Corporal Wu, Flight Corporal Xia, and Flight Corporal Yoon. Congratulations.
Next up, the promotions to Sergeant. Sergeant Ann, Sergeant Bradbury, Sergeant Chimoni, Sergeant Davis, Sergeant Desjardins, Sergeant DeVoe, Sergeant Fellhaber, Sergeant Fortin, Sergeant Halliday, Sergeant Harrison, Sergeant Hartman, Sergeant Huang, Sergeant Hodge, Sergeant Hudgelson, Sergeant Jeffries, Sergeant Karpoff, Sergeant LaFleur, Sergeant McKenney, Sergeant Moffat, Sergeant Morin, Sergeant O, Sergeant Omar Ba, Sergeant Pooh, Sergeant Kwa, Sergeant Resnick, Sergeant Saunders, Sergeant Seth, Sergeant Ung, Sergeant Walry, Sergeant Zanulin, and Sergeant Ziegler. Congratulations to everyone.
Okay, promotion from Sergeant to Flight Sergeant. Flight Sergeant Bielette, Flight Sergeant Brown, Flight Sergeant Chiang, Flight Sergeant Das, Flight Sergeant Dasanayaka, Flight Sergeant Kawaja, Flight Sergeant Kuravilla, Flight Sergeant Lamb, Flight Sergeant Meyer, Flight Sergeant Muse, Flight Sergeant Neal, Flight Sergeant Spirik, Flight Sergeant Stacy, Flight Sergeant Will Torton, and Flight Sergeant Young.
And promotion to the rank of Warrant Officer Second Class. Warrant Officer Second Class Anderson. Warrant Officer Second Class Brown. Warrant Officer Second Class Charette. Warrant Officer Second Class Gao. Warrant Officer Second Class Gupta.
Sir.
Warrant Officer Second Class Pathapan. Warrant Officer Second Class 2.
Sir.
Congratulations to all the newly promoted Warrant Officer Second Classes. Welcome.
Welcome. The work begins.
Congratulations, everyone, on your promotions. I would now like to call upon CI Alta Espinosa Padilla to talk about the Duke of Edinburgh program.
Thank you, Warren. The Duke of Edinburgh Award encourages young people to use their spare time actively and provides opportunity for challenge. It shares many goals with the cadet program, such as good citizenship, physical fitness, and skill development. While most goals of the award can be met by participating in squadron activities, there are a few like contact with nature and multi-challenge, which require special activities. Completing the award tests a participant's courage and endurance, providing what be a lifetime experience. The latest Bronze Award recipients in our squadron are Flight Sergeant Billette, Flight Sergeant Spirac, Flight Sergeant Walterton, and Sergeant Pooh. Congratulations, and I hope see you again next year.
Perfect. I believe it is now time for the awards. I would like to call on Mr. Eric Schmidt, our biathlon coach, to present the Bob Cherney Biathlon Award.
Thanks very much, Warrant. The Bob Turney Biathlon Award is awarded to the cadet that exemplifies all aspects of biathlon training by enhancing their physical fitness through participation in the sport of biathlon and the cadet biathlon program. This season obviously has had its challenges, as you can imagine that learning biathlon over Teams, a Teams meeting isn't the most obvious thing on earth, but we persevered thanks to the work of our 2 award winners this year. So I'd like to present this award to WO2 Ryan Liao and Flight Sergeant Andrea Stacy. So first of all, I'd like to thank WO2 Liao, who as our senior biathlon cadet took a leadership role and assured that the rest of the team had a positive role model to follow. WO2 Liao, I sincerely wish you all the best in what I'm sure will be a very bright future.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. As for Sergeant Stacy, it was her initiative, creative thinking, and leadership that made this season possible. I'm actually a little ashamed to admit that she was generally one step ahead of me at all times and was always full of ideas when I was searching for them. So once again, Sergeant Stacy, from the bottom of my heart, thanks very much and congratulations on this award.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, guys, next season will be better. Ski fast, shoot straight.
Congratulations. Next, I would like to call our 872's Level 3 Officer and Ground School Officer, Second Lieutenant Joseph O'Shea, to present the WO1 Mike Channer Memorial Award for the top junior ground school cadet.
Thank you very much, Warrant Officer. So for my award, the Warrant Officer First Class Mike Channer Memorial Award for the top junior ground school cadet. So this award was established in 2002 and renamed the Warrant Officer First Class Mike Channer Memorial Award in 2005. It's awarded to the top junior ground school student who has attained the highest marks in flight training from September to the end of January each training year. The trophy represents the intense interest and passion of a junior cadet to succeed in becoming a pilot. The same traits were evident in Warrant Officer First Class Channer's desire to become a pilot for the first day of his junior ground school training and culminated in his succeeding in getting his air cadet wings after completing senior ground school. He subsequently graduated from aviation college, became a commercial pilot, and realized his dream of flying to Africa. And while the ground school program looked a little different this year, with it being a citywide program that was held online, we were still able to determine through attendance, merit, and the scores on the exams that were held through the program our top junior ground school cadets. And for this year, this award goes to Flight Corporal Mario Piacarella. Congratulations, and I hope to see you next year in the ground school program.
Congratulations. I would now like to call a reviewing officer, Mr. William Speake, to present the Ray Pearson Award for Aeronautical Proficiency.
Okay, so let me proceed then with the Ray Pearson Award for Aeronautical Proficiency. When the Air Cadet movement was established in 1941, its primary purpose was to train young pilots. All of the opportunities within the cadet movement, flight training has always been paramount. The Ray Pearson Award for Aeronautical Proficiency was established in 1987 to recognize interests and abilities in aviation. It recognizes the dedication that is required over 5 subjects and 5 months of aviation theory and assessment in the senior ground school program. The cadet who receives this award has achieved the highest average in their cohort. And I'm proud to present this year's Ray Pearson Award to recipient, Flight Sergeant Alexander Anderson.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations, Warrant Officer Second Class Anderson.
Congratulations, Warrant Officer. I will now like to call our Level 4 Officer and Band Officer, Major Leonard Johnston, to present the Music Excellence Award.
Thank you, WO1. The Music Excellence Award is awarded to the cadet deemed to have made the greatest effort and the most progress becoming a serious musician over the past training year. It is my great privilege to present this award or announce this award of this year's recipient as Drum Major.
Thank you very much, sir.
Congratulations, Sergeant. I will now like to call upon our Level 1 officer, CI Dennis Menshikov, to present the Most Enthusiastic Level 1 Award.
This award is for the first-year cadets that has constantly displayed having a positive attitude and eager enjoyment towards their peers, superiors, and the unit during all events throughout the year. Congratulations to Corporal Dennis Paseka.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Corporal. I will now like to call our Squadron Sponsoring Committee Chairperson, Mrs. Susan Trimble, to present the Sponsoring Committee Chairperson's Top Recruit Award.
Thank you, Warren. When the young people you see before you join 872 RCACS, they go through weeks of recruit training, which includes general knowledge, uniform preparation, and lots of drill. The Sponsoring Committee Chairperson's Top Recruit Trophy was established in 2001 and is given to the cadet who excels in the first year of junior level training, but also has a good attendance record, shows dedication, and contributes to the esprit de corps of the squadron. The Sponsoring Committee Chairperson's Top Recruit Trophy is awarded to Corporal Alexander Conrad. Congratulations, Corporal Conrad.
Congratulations, Corporal. I will now like to call our Level 2 officer, Officer Cadet William McKinnon, to present the Commanding Officer's Award for Top Second-Year Cadet. Officer McKinnon, you are muted.
Thank you, Chief. During the second year of a cadet's career, confidence and self-assurance begin to show. The Commanding Officer Award was established in 1981 and is presented annually to the top second-year cadet. Good attendance, participation, leadership, and deportment are all considered when selecting the top second-year cadet. This year was tough, and we had a great group of Level 2s, and I'm very pleased to pronounce that this year's Commanding Officer Award for top second-year cadet is awarded to Flight Corporal Aria Bott.
Congratulations, Flight Corporal. I will now like to call our Assistant Training Officer, Lieutenant Emily Chang, to present the Junior Esprit de Corps Award.
Thank you, Warrant Officer Picard. The Junior Esprit de Corps Award is presented annually to the cadet in Level 2, 3, or 4 who displays the highest esprit de corps and motivation throughout the training year. This year, the Junior Esprit de Corps Award is presented to Flight Sergeant Felix Wolterton.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Flight Sergeant.
Congratulations, Flight Sergeant Wolterton. But I will now like to call upon our Deputy Commanding Officer, Captain Thomas Doyle, to present the Junior Leadership Award.
Thank you very much, Warren. So this award is presented annually to the top junior cadet from the rank of corporal to flight corporal who demonstrates a positive and motivational leadership towards their subordinates and peers. The Junior Leadership Award for the level 2s and 3s is awarded to Sergeant Chloe Hodge. Congratulations, Sergeant Hodge.
Congratulations, Sergeant. I will now like to call upon our training officer, Captain Megan Manny, to present the Captain Brian Patrick Field Memorial Award for Leadership.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I just want to say the batch of senior leaders that we've had this year have had to overcome an incredible amount of adversity in order to make this training year successful. And I can say quite easily that they have done a remarkable job in leading the cadets and their peers in running the squadron this year, and they've done an absolutely outstanding job. So they made this decision actually extremely difficult, which is good difficult to have. So I just wanted to start off by saying congratulations to all the seniors on your outstanding leadership this training year. So the Captain Brian Patrick Field Memorial Award for Leadership is a former 872 RCACS Cadet Commander, Mr. Stephen Venez of Kanata, donated this trophy on 21 January 1998. The trophy is in memory of the late Captain Brian Patrick Field, Royal Canadian Dragoons, who began his service career as a cadet with 872 RCACS. The trophy is presented annually to the senior NCO, sergeant or flight sergeant, who best displays the quality of leadership and principles that guided Captain Field in his own life. This award recognizes a leader who pays a particular attention to the welfare, development, and care of subordinates, a leader who goes above and beyond the average expectations of a person in their position of authority, a leader who puts the cadets' interests above their own, a person who is right there leading by example, and a cadet who shows the potential to continue to rise to the highest cadet ranks. I'm extremely happy to say that we actually have a tie this year for the Captain Brian Patrick Field Memorial Award for Leadership, which is awarded to Warrant Officer Manas Gupta and Warrant Officer Sadurya Pathakan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
You've done an absolutely outstanding job this year. Congratulations.
Congratulations, warrant officers. I agree. You have done an outstanding job this year. We are going to try the Ray Pearson Award one more time. So I would like to call upon our reviewing officer, Mr. William Speake, to present this award.
Okay, I'm unmuting. I logged off and came back in. Can anybody hear me at this point?
Sir, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. It was strange because everything I was doing said it was all working fine. So I logged off and logged back in, and then here I am. So everyone's all good?
I will now like to call our commanding officer, Captain James Wood, to present the City of Kanata Mayor's Trophy for Top Senior Cadet.
Junior cadets look to our senior cadets for guidance. Senior cadets impart their experiences and knowledge on the junior cadets. It's a two-way relationship. Leading by example is one of the best ways to teach young cadets and to ensure that traditions are carried on. The City of Kanata Mayor's Trophy was created in 1982 to recognize the top senior cadet. Participation, attendance, leadership, and respect for others are all considered when selecting the recipient of this top award. The City of Kanata Mayor's Trophy for Top Senior Cadet this year is awarded to Warrant Officer First Class Anosha Wakar.
Thank you, sir. I will now like to call our Zone Training Officer, Captain Rose Hurtubise, to present the Royal Canadian Legion Cadet Medal of Excellence.
Good afternoon. The Royal Canadian Legion Cadet Medal of Excellence is awarded annually to the cadet having shown a high degree of participation and leadership in the area of citizenship and in meeting and enhancing the aims and the objectives of the cadet organization. The criteria for selection of individual cadets requires that they have fulfilled the following conditions through 3 years of cadet training. Have fulfilled all requirements of the squadron local headquarters annual mandatory training program and participated in 75% of the optional training. Have participated in at least 3 community service events in addition to the squadron supported programs. Must be seen by peers and superiors to exemplify the model cadet and enhance his or her squadron status by cooperation with peers and superiors, camaraderie, promotion of goodwill and morale with the squadron, supporting and assisting squadron members, and enhancing the image of cadets in the local community. I'm happy to award this year's Royal Canadian Legion Medal of Excellence to Warrant Officer First Class Anosha Wakar. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're very welcome.
I will now like to call our reviewing officer, Mr. William Speake, to present the Lord Strathcona Medal.
Thank you. I guess I'm here as well. The Lord Strathcona Medal. The recipient must have complete knowledge of the activities of the cadet movement and must meet the following requirements. Have a high level of physical fitness, have qualities at least to level 3, have qualified to level 3, met all the requirements of the squadron mandatory training program, and attended at least 75% of the training year, and be regarded by peers and supervisors as exemplifying model cadet. This year's recipient of the Lord Strathcona Medal is Warrant Officer 2nd Class Darian Neal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
Congratulations, Warrant Officer Neal, and congratulations to all of our award winners. It was always my favorite part of being cadet, the promotions and the awards. Now I'd like to pass it over to Warrant Officer 2nd Class Nicholas Trimble to go over a few of the accomplishments we have done in the squadron this year.
Thank you, ma'am. So even though this year has been conducted virtually, the cadets in our squadron have had several outstanding achievements that we would like to share. To start off, the former Vice Chief of the Defence Staff, Lieutenant General Mike Rouleau, and Command Chief Warrant Officer Colbert visited our squadron to see the virtual environment firsthand. Following their visit, they each presented coins of excellence to then Warrant Officer 2nd Class Wakar and Warrant Officer 1st Class Manchikov in recognition of their outstanding work leading the squadron. Then the Cadet Activities Program ran during April break, where our squadron combined with 706 Squadron to place first in the week-long competition. WO2 Saduria Pathapan received 6th overall, and Flight Sergeant Andrea Stacey received 8th. The special edition of Play has just been published by the Canadian Forces, featuring unique articles from across the country, written by 6 cadet finalists of the 2021 Youth Reporter Competition. One of them is our own Flight Sergeant Andrea Stacey. The commanding officer of Regional Cadet Support Unit Eastern challenged the cadets to get out, run a 5K, and continue to pursue their physical fitness. We integrated this challenge into the first day of our virtual field training exercise on May 8th. As part of this challenge, Flight Sergeant Katarina Lamb placed first in her category. Our very own Corporal Dennis Pasica, along with his brother M. Pasica, have designed and submitted to LEGO Ideas a motorized CH-113 Labrador helicopter. Corporal Pasica and his brother decided to create the Labrador helicopter to honor their father, Master Warrant Officer Retired D. Pasica, CD, who retired from the Canadian Armed Forces after 26 years of service as a search and rescue technician. LEGO is still accepting votes, therefore if you've not already done so, please log on to the LEGO website and vote for this design. In March, Warrant Officer 1st Class Anosha Wakar won the Ottawa Cadet Valley Regional Effective Speaking Competition. She then went on to represent 872 at the Quebec Ottawa Valley Provincial Effective Speaking Competition, where she placed second. And finally, I would like to congratulate one of my fellow warrant officers, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Ryan Liao, for being accepted into the Royal Military College in Kingston for engineering.
Thank you, Warrant. I would now like to call upon the Regional Cadet Support Unit Commanding Officer for Eastern Region, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Lessard, to say a few words.
Thank you, Warrant Officer. So, Captain Doyle, how are you? Radio check over.
Yeah, good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, very good. I made it finally. So, wasn't easy, but unfortunately, MWO Bellin has not been able to make it, but he wishes the best for you and your squadron. So, have you proceeded with the 5K gold medal recipient?
Not yet, sir. Go ahead.
All right, I guess it's timely. Can I see Cadets Katarina Lamb? Mrs. Lamb?
Hi. Hi, sir.
All right, can I see your face?
Is it working?
I don't see your face yet.
Okay. My camera's on, so.
Okay. Oh, I guess Sergeant. All right, I see you now. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
All right. How's the How's the review so far?
It's good.
All right. I know it's me. I'm late. I mean, I sort of disrupted the review, but I guess it's still timely. So I wanted to congratulate you because on the 5 kilometers run as part of your age group 14-15, you were the gold medalist. So you should receive a gold medal very soon if it's not in the mail. And you got it. Excellent. So show it, please, to your colleagues and teammates. All right. Just turn it around. All right. Awesome. All right. Hey, well deserved. A very good timing. 30:21. You almost did beat me, but I mean, we were pretty close. Well done again. Very impressed. And I'm extending these wishes to all your colleagues that ran that 5K or walked the 5K. Again, it's one of our pillars here, that physical fitness, especially during the pandemic. So it was a way for us, right, to clear our mind and keep our body and head together. And again, you're a great role model and example to your unit and all the other cadets in RCSU Eastern. Well done again.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Hey, Captain Doyle, can I have a few minutes?
Absolutely, sir. Captain Wood, the CO, has given you the stage, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Actually, do you have a review officer, or are you the review officer?
I am the reviewing officer. I'm here.
Oh, Mr.
I don't know if you can see me.
Absolutely, sir. Nice to meet you. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Steve Lessard.
Nice to meet you as well, sir.
Thank you. So thank you very much for having joined the 872 Squadron during their annual review. Much appreciated. My points will be pretty short. I just wanted to congratulate Captain Doyle's officers and team for having supported all their cadets and making sure that they were very present throughout that very difficult year. And if we're looking ahead, I mean, I'm sure that we're having great days and weeks ahead. And as probably Captain Notsube's already mentioned or briefed you, I mean, we're trying to put together virtual and hopefully some in-person activities over the summer. So again, might be limited, but the thing is to get ready for next training year in September. So again, to all the cadets, squadron officers, volunteers, all the sponsoring committee people, and especially parents, well done this year. And I mean, keep the good work and have a great summer. Stay safe. So that's pretty much it, Captain Dole. Over to you.
I think I will take over as the warrant officer and MC today. I just wanted, well, thank you for that, Lieutenant Colonel. I will now like to invite our sponsoring committee chairperson, Mrs. Susan Trimble, to say a few words.
Cadets, parents, volunteers, staff, and guests, what a year this has been. Here we are at our second virtual annual ceremonial review. I recently rewatched the video of what was our first virtual ACR last May. None of us knew then that this year would be even more challenging. But we've made it to the end of what will hopefully be our only completely virtual training year, and I have to say that the dedication of our cadets has been nothing short of impressive. The staff and the seniors have worked very hard all year to put together a great online program and have been doing their utmost to keep cadets engaged while still covering the necessary training and evaluations. In addition to classes, they have created flight competitions, challenges, and another amazing virtual FTX just a few weeks ago. Thank you to the entire team. You have done an incredible job in a tough situation, and so have the cadets you have been teaching. You have all shown up on Wednesday nights for yet another class in front of a screen, and you have all worked hard to make this year a great success, even in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. This has been a very different year for the sponsoring committee volunteers as well. We have missed seeing you on Wednesday nights and feeding you at FTXs and the spaghetti dinner and organizing our usual fundraisers like tag days and cookie sales. This only makes us more motivated to get back to work once that is possible, hopefully in the fall. Thank you to all of the directors and volunteers for being able to help whenever needed. Cadets, it has been a year of too much time in the virtual world and too little time with real live people, but you have persevered. This summer, we can look forward to the return of some in-person training opportunities to complement what you've been learning throughout the year. Thank you to everyone on the military side who's working hard to make this possible and pulling together all of the required logistics, resources, and safety measures. Thank you as well to the parents who have been supporting their cadets through this unique year. I know it has been hard to see them struggle sometimes in this strange new reality, and I hope we can see them return to something like normal in a few months. And when you bring your cadets back to training, I encourage you to get involved as volunteers yourselves. It is very rewarding to be a part of this program. To the seniors who will be aging out or moving on to post-secondary studies after this year, the sponsoring committee wishes you every success in your future endeavors. You will be well prepared for whatever comes your way thanks to the cadet program. I hope to see everyone else in person for the next training year in the fall. Thank you and have a great summer, everyone.
Thank you, Mrs. Trimble, for your kind words. I will now like to call upon our Commanding Officer of 872 Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron, Captain James Wood, for his address.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Mrs. Trimble, for your words. Thank you and your team for all of your work this year to keep us funded and alive and represented. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, cadets, family members of cadets watching live, Mr. Speake, our reviewing officer, special guests, staff. To those of you watching for the first time on the recording, hello to you as well. Apologies that we could not get you in live in our current situation. Cadets, the year is almost at its end. If we were in the before times, we would have all been together yesterday night and all day today, practicing. Seniors would have been taping their marks on the floor and memorizing their commands, and you'd still be standing there digesting your pizza. It very obviously hasn't been a normal year, but the work that went into the ACR is still something that needs to be appreciated. The senior cadets have put together today's parade and continue to demonstrate the strength of our squadron. Despite us being separated for a second ACR in a row, every one of you, cadets, junior and senior, have done well and worked as a team to keep 872 strong through the most difficult year in its existence. When we put out announcements last August that the cadet year would be starting up and there would be limits on in-person groups, not a single person in squadron staff, all the way up to the regional and national staff, thought that we would be virtual for the whole year. It's been difficult to hear about lost training opportunities, trips, activities, and gatherings with your colleagues and friends. But as this year ends, we can look to the next with optimism. Vaccinations are increasing. You young people are up next. While I can't say for certain what next year will look like, I am optimistic that 872 will once again be able to train in person, and we can resume the activities and the programming that makes the cadet program in general, but 872 Squadron specifically, so good. I am so proud of all of you. To the young cadets who joined this year and have still not met another cadet face-to-face, congratulations on finishing your first year. You did it. You made the decision to spend a few extra hours a week online with strangers, and I hope that every one of you comes back next year so that you can meet your fellow cadets and see what the program is really about. To the seniors who are responsible for the success of the training year, and I mean that, who are responsible for the success of the training year, some of you are leaving to continue your lives. Some of you are coming back. To all of you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your efforts, commitment, and the passion for giving the young cadets under your wing the best experience they could have had this year. 872 survived this year because of you. To the staff of 872, thank you for all the extra hours you've put in dealing with the administration of this year. It's been my first year as CO. It's been a difficult one, but it would have been a disaster with any other team. And I really mean that as well. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Colonel Lassard as well for being able to make it and make a presentation. It's very much appreciated. I'd also like to thank especially Mr. Speake for agreeing to be the reviewing officer this year. As 872 Squadron's first cadet commander, first warrant officer, first class, The effort and struggles of that difficult first year has paid off, and you, sir, are a part of 872's history and what we are today, and we owe you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I want to finish by saying that I wish all of those chosen for summer training of any kind the best. Try to get the most out of it that you can. The seniors that are staffing, continue to bring the passion that you have for the cadet program to your cadets, even in this online environment, and they will thrive. To all of you taking an extremely well-deserved break this summer from cadets and school, enjoy your time off. You've earned every minute of it, and I hope you come back to 872 next year, ready to get going at full speed, ready to learn, ready to serve, and ready to advance. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Captain Wood, for those amazing words. Lastly, I would like to call on our Reviewable Officer, Mr. Speake, for his closing address.
Thank you very much, Warrant Officer for First Class Nosha Wakar. I know technologically difficult day for a lot of us today, but I'm glad to be here finally. I was monitoring everything until my camera decided it was going to do what it was going to do, but looks like we've worked it out right now. So to begin with, thank you, Captain Wood, Mrs. Susan Trimble, officers, civilian volunteers, ladies and gentlemen, fellow cadets. I never thought an annual ACR, virtual ACR was a thing, but you guys did, and you know, hats off to that. It is a privilege to be able to be a part of it, especially through these difficult times that we dig in deep, and that's what I saw us all doing, is continuing living. We didn't let it beat us down, and I can tell you it's a very huge privilege for me to be here today talking to all of you. Don't take this lightly whatsoever. What we started 41 years ago is still standing and it's still flourishing. And when I heard we only had 17 cadets back when we started, I thought, we had that many? Really? I don't remember 17 of us. But to see the numbers that come out virtually, as well as in the past, physically in person, it's just it's very moving to me to see that. And you know, I'd like to say that the results today are beyond the imagination of us who started it back in the day, but it wasn't. We saw this actually happening, and that's why we did what we did. We saw the need. I was living in Bell's Corners. I went to Bell High School, Bell's Corners, Lumid Village, and my cadet squadron was on the other end of Ottawa. And that's how important cadets were for me. So 872 squadron, the location and the squadron itself was very essential. And that's why we're all here today, and that's why you have brought us all here today. Now, back in the day, I used to joke that we were going to grow so big that we'd have to move to the Kanata armories. Did they build the Kanata armories yet? No, we started in A.Y. Jackson, the small gym upstairs. I'm sure you wouldn't all fit in there as of now. We barely did as well. There was so much extra room up there. But let me give you a second. I want to talk directly to the cadets right now. And I'll let you know that you'll probably find out there are a few times in your life that in the moment of that decision you make, you know it's significant. You know it's something that is life-changing. And for me, one of the big ones was joining Air Cadets. And it was my mother who actually got me involved with it. She suggested it. So back then, who would willingly cut their hair? Who would willingly stand at attention and do drill, etc.? I was given a lot of flack from my friends back then, you know, bullied at times because it was only the nerds that joined Air Cadets. So the thing about Air Cadets is that's where my home was. That's where everything felt right when I was at Air Cadets. That's where my friends were. That's where I met my friends. That's where I chose my career. That's where I learned the skills that would take me to where I am today. I learned photography. I learned aviation, music. I was in the band, organization skills, and the rest of them, the self-discipline, the stuff that goes along with it. And look now, being a nerd is cool. Don't you just love that? We're in fashion now. The second crucial moment in my life that I remember so well was when I made the tough decision to leave 706. We were downtown on Metcalfe Street, the old Beaver Barracks, and to move out to 872 Squadron. And I was in my last year. I was a warrant officer second class. I did all the courses I wanted to. You heard I did flying scholarship, etc. I had attended them all, and that could have been enough. That could have just, you know, graduated and said hi. But it wasn't enough. It really wasn't. And when I visited and saw the dedicated staff of leaders who were putting together this Air Cadet Squadron, I needed to be a part of that. And I knew they needed me, but I needed them just as much. It was such a good synergy of us all meeting together, coming together to create what you guys have carried on to being something very phenomenal. Cadets gives you plenty of those aha moments or significant moments. You seize them, you make them your own, whatever they happen to be. They're different from all of us. Not everybody goes to being a pilot. Some of us do, some of us don't, and it doesn't really matter. It's what the unique experience that you get from cadets. Now, for a moment, to speak with the officers and staff. Wow, what an incredible achievement you guys have done. I never would have seen that level up to like 200 people, impressed by it. But I want to also point out that when I was in cadets, my role models were the officers and the civilian volunteers and anybody that interacted with me in the Air Cadets. Because remember, cadets was my world. That is what I did. I lived, breathed, I ate cadets, and I embraced everything. And during the cadets, that's where I picked the role models. That's where I picked the people that I want to be like that person, or I like what that person's doing. And it's you. And it doesn't matter what role you play in the squadron. Whether you're the commanding officer or a civilian volunteer, you play a huge role. The cadets are watching you, and ultimately they're going to choose some of their career paths based on you and what you said to them and what they're doing. They're always watching, and you have such an important job. You really do. And thank you for it. You're doing an amazing job of it. And I want to talk now to the parents that may or may not be in the audience. It's kind of strange. It's virtual. There's no feedback. I'm hoping you're out there. But it was parents, it was like my mother, as I said, got me into the Air Cadets. She heard from one of her students at school about this program, and she came home and she introduced it to me. And I said, yeah, sure, I'd like to do that. And everything about it sounded right. So for the next 4 or so years, my father, every Monday night, drove me down to Beaver Barracks, right downtown, every Monday night. Every Sunday morning, he got up and he drove me to band practice, same place, downtown. And Sunday afternoons was drill team out at Hangar 11 at Uplands. And he was happy when I got my license, don't get me wrong there, but they never grumbled. They never once said, no, we can't drive you. And they were there 100% of the time. They were there for all the ACRs. They applauded me, they cheered me on. And even when I did my flying and gliding scholarship, and I still wear this pin, I just didn't put it on for today. I wear this religiously. It's my pin. They drove out to my wings parade, and for flying and for gliding, and they were there for everything. They were my greatest cheering section. And I got to say, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. And sadly, my father passed away in '94, but he did manage to follow my full military career, which made him very proud. I was proud of my father intensely as well. My mother still lives in Ottawa, and just after I found out from Captain Wood that I would be the reviewing officer today, well, after I calmed down a little, stopped bouncing off the walls and cheering and getting all excited, I called my mother, and that was the first call I wanted to make. That was the first person I wanted to tell, and at 92 years old, she got it immediately. She knew what the importance was, and she congratulated me. And it's basically a big full circle from starting it to being here today. And I really owe a lot to them. It's very important. And so parents, you are making a huge contribution to what your son and daughter is doing and what you've seen what they can possibly do here. And this is just a start. It is just a start. And the sponsoring committee, wow, 40 years, thank you, 41 years now. You started with us, you never failed us. You were always there. And you have seen more than anybody the transition from day 1 to day 41, year 1 to year 41. And the money comes from them. We get some funding from the government, but not enough, never enough. A lot of that funding and a lot of the hard work comes from the sponsoring committee. And cadets, give your sponsoring committee people a big round of applause and a thank you when you can in person again. All right, so that's the sappy part of things. Yes, I figure I gotta tell a few stories, right? It's like I gotta lighten the mood now and start with a few stories. I was listening to some of the things that you were talking here today. I heard the 17 cadets. I go, oh wow, that's great. We had that many. I also heard about the Mayor's Trophy. Now the interesting thing about the Mayor's Trophy, and I don't know if it's the same Mayor's Trophy, but I think I did that because I remember thinking, well, we need the trophies for ACR, right? There's 17 of us. How many trophies do we need? 17 would be nice. But so I thought of the mayor's trophy, and I remember one time I called the mayor's office, and you know, I'm, what am I, 17, 18 years old, feeling all, you know, confident, calling the mayor's office, leaving a message. Okay, the mayor wasn't there. So the mayor called me back. Unfortunately, she called me back one Saturday morning, just as I was kind of groggily getting out of bed. Now remember, I'm a teen, so I'm not getting out of bed very quickly, and my father told me, the mayor's on the phone. I go, what? The mayor? What? No, really? So I get on the phone with the mayor, and I had just woken up, and I guess I'm going through a level of voice change puberty, and I had the worst voice. It kept cracking, and I remember quite clearly having to go through my entire spiel with her of why we needed the trophy without laughing and I tried to clear my throat, but we got the trophy, and I'm hoping it's the same trophy, because I remember we did that in one of our first years. So that's kind of the story perhaps behind that mayor's trophy. It was a little embarrassing. I was hoping not to tell that story, but it did. So when we were on our first ACR, it looked more like a sick parade. Nobody was in uniform, not everybody. Even some of the officers didn't have their uniforms. Most of the uniforms came from the senior cadets that were in other squadrons that came over, and thank goodness that they all came over too. A bunch of people also saw the extent of, and I've heard a few of their names already that had come over and are involved in the squadron, and that's wonderful that they actually did. So one officer, second class, and one officer, Alan Font, he took over for me. He was my deputy. He became the second cadet commander, and I think he came over from 211. And I ran into him. I have to use his name just specifically because I ran into him a few years ago, and he did very well in the high-tech industry. And so, I would love to have had him here today, but I can't track him down. But some of my fondest memories of the early days were in the bush survival weekends. I only remember that's all I ever did. Not at cadets, but at home. I don't think I was home much. We were at the Kanata ranges regularly, and we spent weekends on the Kanata ranges. And I got to circle back and talk to one particular man. It was Captain Bob Thompson. He came to us from the reserves, and I came from Air Cadets, and everybody else that came had no experience, no background at all. So he came from the service battalion, and so he got the best stuff. He got trucks, he got radios, he got fresh rations. Like, we had everything. We had rifles when we wanted to go out and practice on the range and do some of them. We were better equipped than some of the militaries, and it was very, very good that time. I couldn't believe how well it went. So I remember one of the weekends we were out, we were doing bush survival, we were doing these building bivouacs, little coochies and lean-tos, and we were sending some cadets out for solo and group overnights. So parents, maybe you don't want to listen to this part, it's okay. So we would actually take your son and daughter out and throw them somewhere in the woods and leave them there overnight. We knew where they were, and so what they would do is the cadets would go and they would set up a little camp, they'd light a fire, they might have a bite to eat, go to sleep. So it was a particularly cool night, and a lot of them ended up back at base camp before dawn. They got cold, so they came in. And you remember, there's no phones back then. They're not on their cell phone. They don't have their iPad with them. So the sounds of the voices and the things they hear are from the night. And a few of them kind of ran back to base camp. But I remember in this one particular case, this one cadet didn't show up. So in the morning time, normally we don't lose cadets on exercises. It's definitely frowned upon. But he didn't show up, and we thought, now we're starting to think the worst. No, this is not good. So we went out, we went back, we knew where he was, we're supposed to be. So we went back there, and do you know where we found him? Circling back to the teens living to sleep, he was sound asleep in his lean-to. Couldn't wake him up. He was dead to the world. He was out of it completely. Had no idea that we were trying to find him. And it took a while to wake him up. And all he did that night is he built a little shelter, got into a sleeping bag, and went to sleep. We found him, which was good, very good news. So getting back to the early days, acknowledging the amazing work of Jim Davies, Gene Zabos. I had the privilege of knowing them and working with them. Jim Davies was our first commanding officer. Well done, sir. Thank you very much. I don't know if you are in the crowd. And we had so many volunteers. They were just like volunteer after volunteer. We had more than 17 volunteers. So we had 17 cadets. We had a lot of people, a lot of help. Not a lot of experienced help, but they were going to learn. If you have the right attitude, the right person, you can teach them anything, and that's what we really needed to do. So in my couple years that I was there, I think 2, and I was there as a CIC officer, we had 3 commanding officers. Now, I want to go back to, as I mentioned, Captain Bob Thompson, and I'm going to say his name again because in the early days, he was one of the ones that had the organizational skills, and I had the Air Cadets background, and we worked together because everybody else came from civilian backgrounds, and they were trying to put together something that was kind of military. Anyhow, his organizational skills were amazing. So we were kind of allies and buddies. We worked together an awful lot. And he had a way of organizing and planning. And I got to say, if he's here to this very day, I still use some of the things I learned from watching him, how he organized things. Because his task was pretty simple. He was the first training officer. Task is really, really simple. It was to train everybody. Everybody. And so, as you can see, it wasn't an easy task. You're trying to get everybody from 0 to hero in a short amount of time. And it did take a lot of work, but his training and his planning and his procedures of organizing, amazing. And a lot of the early days of this squadron, of 872 Squadron, gotta attribute to Captain Bob Thompson. So thank you if you're around and out there. Finally, to the graduates, those that are aging out and moving on, I feel for you. I remember it was hard to get through an ACR dry-eyed most of the times, and I'm sorry the send-off is the way it is. Captain Wood and the staff did a tremendous job, and from what I see from the Air Cadets, I mean, you have more warrant officers than we had cadets. It looks like the squadron is run in really good hands by you guys. So the thing about going on and moving on, you never get away, and hopefully not. Keep in touch with this squadron, and use the skills that you've learned. And when you touch down somewhere and you've got a career and a job, look into the Air Cadet Squadron that's closest to you. And I said I've been through 2, and nobody is as big as 872. I'm just blown away by the size and the quality. So I mean that sincerely, absolutely. You all deserve a pat on the back, shoulder, etc., especially from me. Well, to kind of sum up, and I know it's a little late for that now, but we started this 41 years ago, but it wouldn't be here if you didn't carry on. We started it, you guys took it to the next level. Every person, every officer, every volunteer that came added something, brought their gifts, brought their personality, brought their experiences. And from that, what we see right here today and the resilience that displayed by having to do an entire cadet year and an ACR virtually is just impressive. It is just amazing. And the success goes to all you guys as well. It's very well done. And as for me, I'm really hoping that this is not a one-time event, that this would be a start of a relationship between myself and 872 Squadron. It means you mean a lot to me. The squadron means a lot to me, and it's as I said, a very big privilege for me to be here today. So on that note, all I want to say to you all is thank you very much, and have a wonderful summer.
Thank you, Mr. Speake, for those kind words. I agree with you. I met so many role models here, and I've met my friends here. My favorite parts were always the bush weekend, and just like you said, with the right attitude, you can learn anything, and that's what we've been doing this year. So thank you. I would now like to call upon our drum major, Flight Sergeant Felix Woltorton, and our band flight commander, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Alexander Anderson, to introduce the band. We will follow with the band playing the national anthem and the final general salute before the departure of the reviewing officer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, I am Wotu Anderson.
And I am Flight Sergeant Woltorton.
This year, despite COVID, the 872 Cadet Band was able to have an engaging program. Because we weren't able to meet up in person, we weren't really able to play our instruments as much as any of us would have liked. However, we were able to extensively improve our theory knowledge, even to the point of being able to write our own music.
What will be shown next is the work of the people that were able to get their hands on instruments. We all pitched in playing our parts for O Canada so that everyone here could still experience the talents of the band despite COVID. Good job to everyone for their hard work. We hope you enjoy.
Squadron General salute! Salute! Squadron to your national anthem, salute! Thank you, band, for finding creative ways to bring music into our parade. This now concludes the annual review ceremony. Mr. Speake, thank you for being with us here today. 41 years ago, you were in our shoes, and it's really nice to have you back in a year very much that resembles our squadron's first, with the unique challenges on ways to reach our cadets.
And thank you very much for having me. Tremendous job. Thank you.
The end of this training year also signifies the conclusion of the journey within the program for a number of our senior cadets. I would now like to call upon our 10 aging out cadets, Flight Sergeant Athena Lamb, Flight Sergeant Connor Lamb, Flight Sergeant Elizabeth Pilon, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Krista Reed, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Imam Mohammed, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Roma Shangari, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Ryan Liao, Warrant Officer 2nd Class Nicholas Trimble to turn on their cameras and feature what is to come of the last night of this training year, the end of our cadet career.
A leader is not something you will become. It's not something that you will do. It's something you already are. Leadership begins now, and it never ends.
When she does your makeup.
There we go.
Saying, how's your workshop? Oh, it was fun Guys, say hi.
Thank you, seniors, for the last 6 years. And that concludes our annual review ceremony. Thank you for joining us today, 872.